The CDM itself is now about 10 years old. There's quite a big body of knowledge and experience behind the CDM. At the same time, there are many changes taking place, both in the climate change negotiations and generally in the world. And this requires a critical review of the current functioning of the CDM and its future role and place in the climate change activities and regime.
We've determined right from the start that we were going to have a transparent and inclusive process. So we invited written submissions, and we also embarked on a very extensive process of stakeholder consultation. And we've had more than 50 meetings with a whole range of people, market participants, NGOs, people involved in administering the system now, the executive board itself, and the parties. So we've covered the whole waterfront with these meetings, and we've taken very careful note of what those people have been saying to us. We've discussed what they've been saying to us in 2 meetings of the panel, and we've posted their comments on the website. I think that process should give confidence that we've really tried to reach out to people and take into account the views of what the mechanism has achieved, how it could be improved, and what it should contribute in the future to tackling climate change, which is the overriding objective in the panel's mind.
It was our view that rather than this panel arriving at its own views, it should listen to what others think. And with that in mind, we have asked just about every kind of role player you can imagine for their views on this matter. We've held hearings in all regions of the world and with a wide range of stakeholders. That in itself, I think, for the first time brings together quite a big body of knowledge about what stakeholders think about the CDM.
There is a very strong sense that we're getting from the consultations and indeed from the research that the CDM has achieved a great deal in identifying least cost mitigation opportunities and has also had significant co-benefits for those countries, the non-Annex 1 countries, who have been the hosts for projects. But of course, there is tremendous room for improvement in how it operates. There is also a very clear need for the regional distribution to be improved, and there are various ways in which people point to respects in which the mechanism could improve if it's to scale up and if it's going to play a role in the future alongside new market mechanisms.
We decided to commission our own research, having and appointing expert researchers from different parts of the world and from different continents to research into 3 broad areas. The first area of research is the actual real impact of the CDM and CDM projects. Has it made a difference? What has its impact been? Then the second topic on which we did research was on the future context. And then, of course, we commissioned research on the governance of the CDM because we have received a lot of comments from stakeholders about ways in which the governance of the CDM can be improved and reformed.
There is one other issue which is, if you like, the elephant in the room, and that is this issue of the supply and demand balance. Because there's no doubt at all in our minds that we are at a very, very difficult point in the life of the CDM and indeed in efforts to tackle climate change. And that is because the supply of CERs, through no fault of the mechanism, but because of the supply exceeding the demand, because the demand is in the end governed by ambition, and we take the view that the ambition on mitigation is not high enough yet. It's certainly not high enough to reach 2 degrees, and it's not high enough to create the demand that enables a market mechanism to function effectively. So we've identified that as a really major issue, and one which has to be tackled urgently if market mechanisms are going to continue to play a role in contributing to efforts to tackle climate change, and if within those market mechanisms the CDM is to survive and play a role.
Will certainly be the first time that an independent body of people, based on thorough research and consultation, will be making recommendations to the UNFCCC and the Executive Board, and frankly to the parties, about the future of the CDM.